Okay, so a lot of competitions here of competing for a medical award. Very cool, Esther. Yeah. Hey, Faiza and Rakesh. Right. Kind of all right. It's hard to tell how everyone's feeling. So would anybody in the crowd like to unmute themselves and tell us like what they're most looking forward to about this expo? Like what is it in your mind like what that makes you want to come?
So excited to hear everyone's speeches, and because we started together, I'm just so excited to see how far everyone has gotten with their project. Yeah. And how much they've grown.
Yeah. That's Vinette, founder of Divine. She'll be competing in a moment. I had a really interesting moment with I asked a student who's here today, why, what makes you want to like know the others in your cohort and like feel like you connect with them? And his answer surprised me a lot. And I liked this. And he said, once I know what their company goal is and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do for the world, that's when I really care the most. And that really surprised me, to be honest. I didn't realize it was about somebody else's dreams that made you feel the most connected. So I just love that. That person can speak up if they want. I know that's maybe like an intimidating place for that, but okay. So as people are still kind of coming in, we would like to get started though and hear from as many people as possible during this. So Shamshir is going to lead us in a session. Again, just welcome. I hope everyone either knows what the expo is, or if they don't, they're kind of strapping in and seeing what this operation looks like, and hearing some very, very inspiring business ideas that they might enjoy. All right, Sham.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this big day. There's so much that's going to be happening, so many ideas that you're going to get to listen to. And before we get into all of that, we always start with getting to know the audience a little bit, getting everybody comfortable and situated and excited about this big day. So we're going to do something called What's Up, WhatsApp, which we do a lot. And it's going to be lots of fun. We're going to ask you questions really quick, but you can type them into the chat right here in the Zoom. So you will have limited time to answer them. So be really fast and really quick. And what's your name and age? You only have 5 seconds, really fast.
Oh, good.
Okay, 5 seconds are over. 60 seconds. Best thing that happened to you in the past 24 hours. Everyone's saying sleep. I agree with you. And
Art.
coffee.
Yeah, sun on the face. Cool, Kanya. Speaking Croatian. And Yashika, the completion of the pitch.
Oh, yes. Okay, we only have 10 more seconds.
Benching Cobra Kai.
Okay, next one. What's a song that's stuck in your head right now? You have 30 seconds.
Nice, blessed.
Just trying to verify if everyone has a good taste of music in this room.
Just trying to get some music for myself afterwards. Get a pulse on what everybody needs. Okay.
Nice. Oh, I love that meme, Isha. Okay, 30 seconds. If you could solve any problem in the world, what would it be?
Dang, I like that. If we can, I like the way you put it. Mm. Yeah, Ashika's always solving something new. I like.
Yeah.
Hair ties. Isra, that's interesting. And
Cool.
trying to solve information overload.
In your brain or in computers? Wait, okay. Let's move on to the next one. You have 45 seconds. What's your biggest strength? Talking, Esther? Yeah, it is. True. Convincing people? Ambition, determination, and self-belief. Amazing.
Ooh,
Amazing.
Afiwe, yes, the writing. And Marina, you're socializing. All these things come through within your cohort and help everybody else. Nice. Pushing through with the calmness, Chaying. I'd like some more of that. Cool. Yes, blessed.
Writing code. Amazing. Okay. 45 seconds. Why are you here at this expo? Yashika's strength is walking. Nice. Mikhail, I'm a stakeholder. Nice, nice.
Yeah, a lot of stakeholders in the house right now who are potentially biased because they love their their CEO who they're following. Oh, Marina, yes. Hey, Nashville. Cool. All right.
Yes. Okay. 60 seconds. How are you going to change the world?
Hey, Kathiwe. Great. Who is that Shaying? Great.
I like Leonie's a lot. With every small action I take every single day.
It's really true.
Okay, next one. 60 seconds. What's your favorite product of all time? And why?
Yeah, nice. Nice, Esther. George, I didn't expect that from you.
Me neither.
I loved that. I really did love that. I only saw the first one.
Microwave.
Headphones have made a lot of things possible, Shang. I'm with you. And Mara's got a trampoline. You guys have a lot of interesting things. So room fragrance from Samara. I wish I didn't like microwaves so much, but I do as well, Jaylene.
Nice, very nice. Okay, 45 seconds. What's the funniest fact about you? Just anything random. Doesn't have to be big. Sure. Oh. Armita says, I laugh at unfunny things.
Nice. I love that. I need to be around that. And Blessed, what's so funny about being 5'3"? It feels perfect. Monis knows the number of moles. Nice. Shit on what? For some reason, I can picture sleep talk out of you, Remo. So, Maneth, I like that you can do that. Great. These are some great ones. You guys are really descriptive. You have this like in the tip of your tongues ready to tell the world about. Conita sarcastic like a lot. Nice.
I love Yashika's. She's named after a camera brand.
Yeah. I remember that from the stakeholder video. Just so casually telling us that. And Kitu is Esther, are you sure? I feel like I know 6 other Esthers.
First name is Esther. My first name isn't Esther. It's in my origin. So.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool then.
Okay, you have 45 seconds. Who inspired you today? My cat.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Future, you should be the most inspirational person in the room, in your vision right there. Cool. Oh, Esther. And Gia, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, Shaying, I would agree with that. Everyone in your cohort should. And that's a good cohort.
okay. 60 seconds. What are you most excited about in your life? Me too.
Yeah.
Kelsey.
Can't get enough of it. It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
Cool. Blessed's gonna be driving. Yashika's going to the mountains. These are good things to know. I like picturing this stuff. And Vinette with the deep answers. Most looking forward to changing. I love that. I'm excited. You never know what kind of changes are gonna happen to you. I mean, and you make some of them happen as well.
George is very enthusiastic about his food. Wow.
Oh, Dinam, I'm with you. And Nara's great answers there. Nice. And James read it. Your history book does sound kind of fun right now too. I'm with you. Nice change of pace. Cool. Around helping his family when he's successful.
Okay. Thanks everybody for participating. I think that brings us to a close for What's Up Zoom. And that was a lot of fun to read, honestly. A great start to the day, and also a way for everybody to look back and reflect on all the amazing things that are happening in your life and get excited about the great things that you're going to see today. You know, there's going to be lots of new ideas that you might listen to, and be ready to get more inspired by them, and just really happy that you're all here to support and enjoy yourselves. So I will pass it to Kelsey because I think she has a few words to say to us.
That was honestly really fun though. Like I feel like I saw some very interesting things answers coming out of you guys. So glad to know and see some sites that I just saw. I'm gonna welcome like everybody at once and speak about the October cohort as well. But I'm gonna start with some bit of a spiel. As you know, a lot of students come to us and say, okay, like this is my plan. First step, I need some investment money. I need capital. I need to get all of these things to get started. And a lot of you, if you are in the community, know our answer to that, which is that no, you do not need that as your first step at all. In fact, nobody would really, really want to invest in you until you have something else. And that something else, to put it very simply, is humans. If human beings like what you're building and are getting what they need out of your product, and you're solving something really, really important for them, like that is, you're golden. Like you can only grow from that kind of space when you've interacted with humans, when humans are the ones trying out what you have created. That is when your product goes into a direction of being more specific and more helpful and stronger constantly. And that's really, really how I feel about the October cohort in general. Is you guys here are, you are genuinely making every Sophers experience better from this point forward, based on the way that you handle everything in front of you. Like there were times that Shamshir and I are, we conference a lot and we're plotting, all right, this October cohort, they're so talented. What are we going to do with them on Saturday? Like we want to like ramp it up a bit. They're ready for this. They're ready for that. Let's try it on them. This is something that's a little bit advanced, but like, let's try it on the October cohort. And every time it's like what actually gets created out of each of the October cohort students is something that we couldn't have invented ourselves. We could not have thought of the way that you guys take whatever prompts and activities we make and you go in a direction that we wouldn't have been able to. It's so powerful. And that's really, really what creates the path for other students to also do it. So you have set the standard way up, and every future Sopher will kind of have to follow the path that you've created, and they'll be able to create a lot more than they ever could before. And that's really, really at the end of the day the purpose of competition. And when I look at this group, there is one of the most competitive groups we've had, but there's never, ever like hostility about competition in this cohort. And I'll be the first to admit, when somebody does something better than me, there is a small like heart racing, like, ooh, like, oh, no, like I like to be better. But with this group, it's almost like if Shayin goes above and beyond and brings something to the cohort and says, hey guys, I made this, everybody else they're happy that she did it, because now they all have that ability to do that extra thing as well. They're like, oh cool, Shayin like set this new path and all of us can also do it as well. And so it's kind of like they're adding to each other's building blocks. Instead of feeling like threatened that somebody did something extra or more, they can incorporate it and build it into their own business as well. And that's the truest purpose of competition. You surround yourself with people who are more talented than you in ways that, and have ideas that you don't have, and have strengths that you don't have, and it adds to you. And that's exactly what this group continuously built and built and built on each other. So thank you guys for helping build this a phenomenal path that all future Sophers can also be on. And thank you for building each other. Like, we are wildly impressed with this group. And if the whole entire SOF team really knows, oh gosh, the October cohort. So you guys are legends in as a whole and in your own individual ways. And we're so excited for the whole community to see what you have made in this expo. Congratulations, and you'll be alumni in about an hour and 37 minutes.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love
Thank
to
you.
add as well, because I've known all of you very, very closely. And I want to start by actually first telling everybody, when students come into School of Future, the first thing we ask them is, what do you hate in this world? What are you angry about? And what is the problem that you want to solve? And there's so many things that are wrong with this world. Like, people aren't kind enough. People don't have enough, people don't care about the planet. There's so much that's going wrong. But it takes a lot of strength to move beyond just whining and complaining about things that are wrong to actually taking action. And that's what these students have done. Every single one of them, they haven't just pictured and visioned a very, very much better world. They actually want to move towards that, and they've never shied away from just taking the first step. How we have all these apprehensions about ourselves, like, maybe I'm not good enough to solve this problem, maybe what I'm creating is not going to change the world, and I'm not big enough to solve this problem. But I've rarely seen that kind of fear in any of these students, because they just move forward with their first idea. This is the most special thing about them, is they just go and execute. Like, any of the students I've spoken to, they have an idea in their head. They're like, all right, how am I going to do this tomorrow? How am I going to incorporate this in my customer's experience? And where is this going to go? And it's always been so much more about action than just talk. And that's why I am so, so proud to say that all of these students here, they're about to graduate with not just an amazing business idea, but having grown into somebody who can call themselves a CEO, and somebody who has that founder mindset, and somebody who can change the world. So I am really, really excited to introduce you to our graduates, the October cohort. We will start with the opening ceremony, and let's begin with Jaylene. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, lovely people. My name is Jaylene. I am the founder of Connect, and our aim is to better understanding and communication between students and teachers. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Vanette, the CEO and founder of Divine, where we help you live your best life and not the life social media and society tells you to live.
Hello, my name is Armida, and I'm the founder of Mission Driven, which helps you become your own version of extraordinary through goal setting, grit, and self-awareness.
Hi, my name is Blessed Fonko, and I'm the founder and CEO of Fonkoology. Our aim is to help people use the internet for economic empowerment.
Hi everyone, my name is Jia. I am 18 and I am from India, Delhi. I am working forward to empower youth by my platform Youthera, which is for the youth, by the youth, and to the youth. Thanks.
Hi, I'm James, the founder of Propology and our social media counterpart Prepit, and we are going to solve the problem of mainstream education not preparing our students for the real world, as well as the problem of the lack of dialogue and discussion in today's classroom. Thank you.
Hiya, my name is Xiying, and my mission is to empower women in STEM. Thank you. Oh.
Hi, my name is Esther, and I'm the founder and CEO of Let's Talk About It. Our mission is to bridge the gap between racial discrimination and mental health by creating a safe space for everybody to come and share their stories. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Ibukan, founder of The Reformatory, and I've never been more aware of the crisis that is in the global criminal justice system and what we can do to support ex-offenders. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Yashika, founder of Humble, and I'm solving the problem of lack of respect in society for each other and for vulnerable groups.
Good evening, everyone. I'm George, founder of Informed, a platform dedicated to fighting misinformation and making the truth available to everyone.
I'm literally so excited to hear these speeches. Like, this is a great, great day. All right, Sean, like lead us a little bit into what's next.
Yes, of course. So I'm going to talk a bit about what today is going to look like. We're going to first jump into pitching. We will have half of our students go ahead and introduce their business ideas to everybody. We will be voting on these ideas as well, side by side. And after half of the students go, we will move into breakout rooms for 10 minutes where you can go more in depth and really see everything that these students have come up with. After that, we will do another round of pitching and another round of breakout rooms. Towards the end, we will announce the winner and move forward from there. Okay, great. So that brings us to the first round of pitching. And I will hand this over to Kelsey to introduce our first speaker.
Great. All right. So this first speaker is somewhat of a warrior, I like to say. And I really cannot like wrap my head around what this person can accomplish. Like if any, I guess I'll put it this way, for any hoop that would ever exist in the world, this student is already doing cartwheels through every single one of those hoops. And I just can't really explain this really cool mixture of being really, really tough, but also really sweet and compassionate. And anytime she sees something, some new realization pops up in her head about the world, it's like she has to embed it into her new philosophy and her new way of doing it. And she just does what is right and what I feel is like the compassionate moral move for the world. So I can't wait to see and hear her pitch right now. Please welcome to the floor the founder of Connect, Jaylene.
Hello again, everybody. Kelsey, you're making me emotional. Okay, I would like to start off with a story. And the story is something that happened to me in this week. So I was sitting in class and it was reading time and it was my turn. So as you can hear, I have a speech impairment. I don't have the ability to roll my R's. And while I was reading, my teacher noticed this. He stopped me and asked the class who had that speech impairment. Me thinking that he was helping me, I raised my hand and I said me. And instead he made a joke. And I was the suspect of the joke. In that moment, I felt my self-esteem go from year to year. And I thought to myself, if he only knew how many years I struggled with this, how long it took me to get this far, and how much his words had impacted me. But he didn't know. And how would he? I never told him, and he never asked. Sorry. So a lot of us have that problem. We don't know other people's side of things, and they don't know ours. See, we don't know what it takes to be that student at the back of the class that answers a question, and as soon as the hand goes down, their heart is racing like a million beats a minute. We don't know what it takes to be that student that raises their hand, that can't raise their hand. We don't know what it takes to be that teacher in the front of the class, what feels like a million eyes on her. And I feel like that's a problem. Understanding is the beginning of so much, and if we don't have that, then there's a lot that can go wrong. Now you might be thinking, well, how does this affect me? How do their problems impact me? Well, let me tell you something. Education, like any other system, is interconnected, meaning that what affects the teacher will affect the student, and what affects the student will impact everybody around them and the future. So yes, this very much does include you. And I'm sure right now you're thinking about that time. I'm sorry. The problem can get so much worse if we do not address it. Just look at the future, or just look at yourself and think of a time when you said nothing, when you did nothing. after feeling like you were wronged or feeling like nobody heard your side, when you stayed quiet and you let it build up. It built up and it built up and it built up. And if you're like me, it exploded. Now, this can be the same case in our education system if we do not do anything. But I have a solution. I have a solution, which is Connect. And we work in 3 ways. Our website, where you can join the conversation, have your say, and hear the voices of so many others. Our apps, which will help to share, to solve the problems. I'm sorry, the comments. Our apps, which will help to solve the problems that we identify, and our social media, which will share awareness about this. Now, I know talk is nothing, so let me show you some results. First off, I would like to start by speaking a little on my webinar that I conducted, I think a week ago. A lot of the reviews from that webinar were positive, and once I simulated it at school, I found that a lot of people felt better and felt like they were heard. And that transferred into our class environment. Because once we felt like we were heard, we felt like we had a say, we felt important. We didn't just feel like the students sitting in the back of the class. Also, onto our apps and our problem solving. During my interviews, I spoke to one of my teachers and I let her know that the frameworks that she gave us at the beginning of the year helped us a lot, because then we could be prepared in advance for the lessons. After finding this out, she said, yes, I agree with you. And for me, it helps because then you walk into class and you are better prepared for the lesson that I am about to teach. I said, I wish other teachers would do it. And guess what? I got to school the next day and they did. And honestly, I felt in that moment so much joy from being heard and from having a problem solved that it didn't just help me. It helped my teacher. It helped the other students around me. So that's what I want to do. Help everybody's voice get heard in the education system. Thank you.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much for taking us into your world, Jaylene, and everything that you've seen and experienced. We're gonna vote now. I will launch the poll. So there's 4 options of where you think her speech stands, and take your time. I mean, you will have only about 2 minutes though, so make your vote. All right. Love that. All right, 52 out of 60 have voted. We will wait like 30 more seconds. Great.
Okay, I think we will end the poll now.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Great. Kelsey, please introduce our next speaker. Thank you so much, Jaylene, for your powerful speech.
Okay, so this next person has a very, very, in my eyes, one of the most unique and crazy kinds of wisdoms that I've ever really, really dealt with. It's pretty, like every time, I guess, like when I hear her reaction to something, it's always some thoughtful clearly her brain has spent so long going in depth, being really thoughtful for a situation in ways that I just didn't think was possible. Like her reaction to everything is some of the most thoughtful answers that I've ever heard. And she's super willing to dig into what is missing in the world, what's missing within herself, what some of her insecurities are, in order to help build something big for the rest of society. And I respect that more than anything. Honestly, one of the most disciplined students I've ever worked with as well. And it shows and it pays off, and great things have been created on your behalf. Vivinette, founder of Divine, welcome to the stage and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow first students, investors, parents, and mentors. Today is a day I've been waiting so long. It is the day I get to officially introduce Divine to the world. Divine is a problem-solving app. But before we solve the problem, let's get to know the problem. We all have seen in movies or imagined a world where we all have to dress the same, walk the same, and think the same. I always found that a world like that would not be a world where I would want to live in. But soon enough, it will be our world. You'll probably think I've gone off the rails, and I wish I had, because that would mean that I would still be able to be myself. I have a question for you all. How much of an influence did a trend, social media, or society have on what you're wearing today? I know I have certainly put back a favorite dress or shirt of mine because I thought this wouldn't be approved socially. I now regret not wearing what I wanted because society told me it wasn't okay. It is okay. Fashion is supposed to help you express yourself, not shove you in a box and make you feel insecure. Statistics show that 130 million Instagram users buy something through Instagram. 72% of social shoppers get influenced by Facebook in at least one fashion category. It has been proven that mobile users are more likely to purchase something than non-mobile users. Social media is also a big reason for depression and bad mental health. According to a study done in Britain in 2018, social media is tied to decreased, disrupted, and delayed sleep, which is associated with depression, memory loss, and bad academic performance. People who use social media a lot have a 13 to 60% higher chance of having depression. Another study found that the less you use social media, the less likely you are to feel lonely or depressed. This is just statistics. Let's jump back to reality. As a social media user, I have certainly felt my best when I am away from my phone. Social media has been a big part of the reason why I felt I wasn't good enough or has made me feel insecure. But after a divine-inspired social media detox, I filled my social media with people who inspire me, are happy, and positive. They make me feel good about myself and remind me that social media is a platform where you share positivity and build each other up. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Just imagine how much society and social media controls us if you look at all of the categories. Can you see the future in front of us? Plain and boring, with no color, no spice, and no right to an opinion. But with your help, Divine has the ability to change the future. It isn't written in stone yet. Divine helps you to be yourself, set goals, track goals, grow, and stop society and social media from controlling you, controlling your future. When we start with your journey, you take a survey to make sure we accommodate all of your needs, wants, goals, and dreams that are soon to be plans. We specialize in building confidence, bettering mental health, lessening social media use, and lessening the control social media and society have on us, on our future. There might be doubts about how one business can accommodate so many people with so many different goals, because we are a family, and in a family, there is space and love for everyone. Now I know what you're thinking. How can a business created by a 16-year-old change the whole world's future? By simply reminding you that you don't need others' approval. You don't need a trend to look good. You need trust, confidence, and happiness. Trust in yourself that you're in control of your future and your life. Confidence to know you look good and feel even better, and a happiness because, as our girl Sia once said, you're never fully dressed without a smile. And that is how Divine is going to change the whole world's future. It is with you.
Amazing work. Really, really good. Lots of claps happening everywhere. Okay, excited for everyone to vote as well. Great. Everybody's voting very quickly. They know what they want. Awesome. Yeah, guys, and totally feel free. I love your comments coming in for Vinette. Like, say what you would love to say to her. That's awesome. Amazing. I only have 40 out of 60 voted, so we will keep it here for a second.
I think I think this might be the incorrect poll. So this is Jaylene's poll that's showing up again. So we might need to redo the voting.
Oh.
Okay, no, it shows Vinette now.
Yeah.
Let's say.
There. I don't know why that. All right, we have 45 out of the 60, so get your votes in. You guys have another 30 seconds. Gosh, really lovely work. Like I said, I'm giving you guys another 10 seconds, and then we will have to close. Great. Okay. If you haven't got your votes in, sorry, you're too late, but really, really great work, Vinette. And we're ready to go to the next person.
Okay, so this person is a whirlwind of energy. Like she gets 1 million things done in a day, but at the same time, there's something so calm and patient and kind about the way she speaks and the way she handles herself. And you cannot tell that, this how much, the ideas and the passion and the energy is just filling her like inside her, but the outside is so calm and so kind and so patient. And it's just the depth with which she describes human dynamics, the philosophy and the maturity in the way that she thinks is so inspiring to me. Every mentor call, I leave with a new perspective. And that's what's so amazing about Armita, the founder of Mission Driven. Over to you.
So thank you for that introduction. And I'm gonna get started now. So think about a goal you have for your life. It can be big or small, but regardless, it's something that you know you want to attain based on your values, desires, and life experiences. With that, what does success look like to you? Successful looks different to different people, and your success will look different from your friends. Yet within the current education system, which follows a standardized approach, how do you find your own path, set your own goals, and lead the life that you deem successful? As someone who's been seen good at school for the longest time, I saw that as my defining characteristic. Yet it was not until I stepped out of that persona to think about who I wanted to be 5 years from now, or the type of impact that I aspired to have through what I did, that things started to change. Since developing big goals that terrify me every day, I've been able to grow from being a person who dreams to a person who takes real action and makes things happen. I'm happier than I've ever been in the past 16 years of my life because every morning I wake up with an action mindset and a drive to work towards things that I value in my life. I'm grateful I've identified what I wanted from early on because it's pushed me to work hard in every area of my life. Yet I know that many others aren't as fortunate. It's difficult to work towards a goal when you don't know what you want to do with your life or who you want to become. A survey conducted by the Association of American Colleges and Universities found that only 55% of students attending high school feel prepared to enter the real world. But the amount of workload and assignments, sometimes life can become about running after deadlines and diving towards the A on the test instead of the long-term values that will shape who you will become and the life that you will lead. That's why I founded Mission Driven to help teens create their own goals and then make an action plan to reach those goals. This can be absolutely any goal, whether it be building stronger connections in your life to becoming a leader at a Fortune 500 company, or literally anything else. At Mission Driven, we offer key milestones and guiding principles that you can follow, but designing your path is entirely up to you. In other words, we teach you the skills you need to live a fulfilling life, regardless of the endeavors that you choose to pursue or the values that you have. Our course focuses on 3 key areas: fulfillment and happiness, goal setting, and progress and momentum. Fulfillment and happiness is about self-love and having a future vision. It's about accepting yourself as who you are while also maintaining a vision for the person that you aspire to one day become. Goal setting is about improvement. It entails developing a growth mindset and building grit and resilience. Finally, progress and momentum will help you move towards those goals through incremental actions and steps every single day. Mission Driven is about building an authentic life that you are proud of and developing resilience through adversity. In short, it's about becoming your own version of extraordinary. So the question is, who do you want to become and why, and how do you want to do it?
Okay, amazing. We are going to launch the poll for Armita, the founder of Mission Driven.
I loved seeing all that applause afterwards. It deserved. Cool. And again, a lot of votes coming in very fast. People know what they want and what they think. Very good. 47 out of 64 have come through. We will give you guys 30 more seconds. Never hold back. I love everybody's comments. Okay, 58 out of 63 have voted. Last shot, everybody. And that's a wrap. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job, Amrita. Cool. All right, we're going to step into our next graduate.
Okay. So, about this person, she is confident, driven, ambitious, and she really knows what she wants. And, you know, there's such an amazing mix of having this big vision, but at the same time, having an analytical mindset about how she wants to achieve it. And, you know, what is the smartest, fastest, best possible way to becoming the best? That's something Blessed really knows how to do. And she shows that through her business, her actions, and everything she does. Please welcome the founder of Funkoology, and the stage is yours.
Thank you for that kind introduction. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Have you ever been sitting in class wondering what you could achieve if you weren't limited to your curriculum and could afford all your heart's desires? Just thinking, worrying, fidgeting, doing everything except actually listening in class? Well, I have, which is what led me to creating Funkoology. Funkoology aims to help students and teens, or anyone in general, become financially independent in the ways of the modern world by using modern day resources themselves, like e-commerce, for example, which is the buying and selling of goods online. From a young age, I wondered why there was an age requirement to making money. In Ireland, I have to be 16 to do work experience, 18 to open a business bank account, have the experience of a 20-year-old on my resume to apply for a job when I'm 19. This is the problem. But we're at this weird place in time where there are so many free tools out there. 5, 10 years ago, could any kid make a website and start selling or drop shipping? No. But look at us now. We can capitalize on this. We can change who gets the jobs. Social classes can be changed forever because of this. In the last 10 years, hundreds of online resources have been created. So many opportunities have appeared. We need to learn how to use these resources, not just learn about how they were made. Funkoology is a website I developed using Big Cartel. The website has 2 main parts to it: the shop, where I sell a range of items appealing to the teens of today, and the how-to forum, which tells you how to set up your own e-commerce shop, tips for turning your hobbies into a product and or service, a contact page to ask questions, and the option for one-on-one mentorship to introduce customers to the world of business, and much, much more. I have a passion for solving problems, doing math, and anything business related. So from personal experience, I know that not everybody learns by listening. Some people learn by doing and seeing. Visually being able to see the result of what they're learning can make a big impact on the outcome. People need to learn by building and doing. If we continue just staying in rooms reading theory, society would get stuck in the past. Our future would be doomed. We need to learn by building and doing, putting what we learn into the real world, connecting education to reality. Funkoology does just that. It shows you the back doors of starting your own e-commerce business, gives you tips on the best platform to use, the cheapest platform to use. It's the easiest way to make some money yourself. Funkoology can provide mentorship, financial help, and general advice for anyone who has an interest in the world of business or e-commerce. With Funkoology, you can learn how to make money on your own with no limits at all. It opens up a whole world of possibilities. Just think about this for a second. The world's population is approximately 7.6 billion, and approximately 4.6 billion of them use the internet. So 65% of all humans on this earth use the internet. The world is forever changing and technology forever improving. It's time for people to harness the internet and use it to make money. Stand in, bit out. Turn your hobby into your ology. Shop Funkoology. Thank you for listening.
Wow. Yes. That was amazing, Blessed. Honestly, you bring up so many distinct like points and pieces about how our world is looking right now. Thank you. I just loved it. Not a good reaction from people. Cool. 50 out of 60 have voted. So we'll give you guys another 30 seconds. $55 people. All right, we'll give you guys 10 more seconds. Hey, Jaran. He's voted great for everyone. Loved the facts too, Courtney. Nice.
Okay, I think it's time to end the poll.
Yes, just keeping the scores. And all right.
Okay, thank you, Blessed. Now it's time to introduce our next speaker. So about this person, her ability to ideate and plan is like nobody I've ever seen. I like to call her the master planner. And she's somebody who will never leave a problem unsolved and never back down from the challenge of having to brainstorm and solve it. She is very independent, very brave, and no matter what comes in front of her, she will never stop from thinking of the best solution to solve it. Please welcome the founder of Youth Era, Gia.
Hi everyone. That was very kind of you, Shamshi, first of all. So before starting, I want every one of you to please interact with me while I show you. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, hi everyone, I am Gia, founder and CEO of Youthera, for the youth, by the youth, and to the youth. Before moving forward, I just want to ask one question. I know the time is momentary, but still, how are you all doing today? If you are doing great, just give a thumbs up in the chat. Or if you're not doing so much great, still give a thumbs up so that your day could go great earlier. I could see Kelsey giving me a double thumbs up. That's so great. Okay, let's. Nowadays, tech pool is growing stronger and advanced by every second. Not only tech, but also the population is growing smart. But just being good at academics and completing assignments is not just good enough. So, there's a fact from long back. The greatest and the superpower or an asset for human being, for which you don't really have to pay tax for, fortunately, is is their imagination power. We all are human here, right? So we all can imagine. So let's imagine two scenarios here. In scenario one, let's imagine your teacher teaching you a certain subject. In scenario two, let's imagine your good friend who is good at some subject teaching you. Okay, now this is where I want you to interact with me. We all have had that one friend who can teach us better than our very own teacher. Name that friend in chat box. I just want to see that. That's so great. Okay. Okay, let's move forward. So let's just observe this picture for now. What do you think? Is it true or is it just a meme? Like when school teacher teaches us, it goes above from our head. When private tutor teaches us, it goes as like, okay. But when a friend teaches us, it goes right towards our head. Is it true or just an observation? Write T if it's true, and write F if you don't believe it's true. Okay. But what if I say this is not just a meme? What if I say this is an actual fact? In 2018, a survey conducted by ITNSO, 19% of doesn't have much comments on this, and 32% says that te- 32% says that teachers always teaches the best and give more experience to it. But 49% of the youngsters say that they understand the topic more good if the people of their same age group who are good at that subject teaches them. But and also the survey by us shows that 40% of people consider that only teacher teaches us the best. 5% doesn't have comments on it. 55% of people believe that when their friend teaches them, they understand it more well. So we, the Youthera Group, are here to make it possible. We, the Youthera Group, welcome all those young, ambitious youngsters who want to get an early taste of their successful life. We believe that youth section is most powerful section from all the sections, and we here at Youthera are trying our utmost to improving today's youth section. We try our utmost to stand out on our motto, which is for the youth, by the youth, and to the youth, which means a platform which is made by the help of youth, which is made for the youth, and which would be dedicated to the youth. We have many sections to help you and youth here, like our skill era services. The youth here, the youth who have skills and want to distribute it, can share their skills, and the person who wants to learn it from someone of their own age can take of it. Let me show you a small demo of how it will work. So now it's question time, and I want every one of you to open your chat box. Okay. What is the one skill you want to learn? It could be photoshopping, content writing, it could be anything. I'll give you 5 more seconds to write it down in the chat box. Okay. So my second question goes to you, which is, what is the one thing any of you could teach someone or you are good at it? You don't have to be professional in it. You just know how to manage that stuff and how to do that stuff. Like you're good in your English classes, so you know about content writing much. You are good at photoshopping. Okay. So I can see someone want to learn Photoshop and someone knows how the skill of photoshopping. So what my platform will do is that take the person who knows the skill of photoshopping and the person who wants to learn, and Youthera will act as an interface which will help them both to combine with each other. So now you must be thinking there are other platforms too, like Coursera and other platforms. So what's the difference here? In Coursera there are in Coursera there in that platform you can buy the modules. You won't have that much interaction with the mentor, but here you can have one-on-one mentor session by calling the mentor and clear your doubts or get advices, which would be best experience for both the mentor and you. There are also many aspects like communal era where you can get articles where people could find various resources. There you could find peers, people could talk to each other and get advice from each other. There is other section which is the intern era where the internship provider and the youth who wants to get in internship could meet together and act same way. The resource era. So the thing is, while getting internship, we don't really have that training session, and people and the internship provider don't really have that much time to train. So we can't really solve that problem, but we can improve the situation. Here at Youthera, we will help you. We will help you by providing these resources. The next section we have is the motivation zone. Here you can find various and multiple of motivation quotes, videos, which would keep you up to the beat. All this would help and empower youth for a greater cause and can improve their productivity by more than 52%. Isn't that just great? And also give them a great experience, which is what Youthera is all about. Thank you.
Super engaging. I really, really loved Gia, what things to say about it. I'm going to launch the poll. Oh, there we go. Founder of Youthera, give her your honest vote. Right. Brought up a lot of points in my brain anyways. Thank you. "52 out of 60 have voted. So we'll wait 10 more seconds. Don't overthink, people. Okay. Oops. And we will end this poll. All right. All right, over to you, Sham.
Yes, thank you, Tia. That was brilliant. We are now going to introduce the next speaker. Okay. So James he probably has the strongest attention to detail I have ever seen in a human being. He is somebody like, at times people might miss some parts of something when they're doing a task, but from A to Z, James will never miss a beat because he sees all the smaller parts of the problem, and not just that, but how it actually fits into his bigger vision for propology. And so much attention to data and research and facts combined with human emotion and leadership is what makes James such a powerful CEO. And I am happy to introduce you to the founder of Propology. Please welcome James.
Thanks for that. Hi everyone, wherever you are in the big wide world. And speaking of the big wide world, are you ready? Are you prepared for what's out there? Now that might seem like a weird question, but let me put it like this. Have you ever been sat in school and thought, what is the point of this? How will learning this help me in the future? Well, I certainly have. And we are not the only ones who think this. A YouGov study here in the UK found that 60% of students and 75% of teachers feel this way about their mainstream education. And from my own survey, I found that 2 out of 3 people believe that mainstream education is not preparing our students for the challenges they will face in the real world. And the worst part is, this problem is not slowing down, it's getting faster. Our education system is becoming more and more out of touch with where it needs to be, and unless we solve this problem, we may end up in a world where our students are being essentially thrown to the wolves, sent out into a world with challenges that they do not know how to tackle and mountains that they do not know how to climb. And this is a problem we absolutely must solve. We cannot let this future become reality. But this is just the first problem in mainstream education that we intend to solve. I'm not sure about you, but speaking from my own experiences, it seems that mainstream education is based on a very individualist approach of do your own work, pass the class, and that there is a lack of dialogue and thought-provoking discussion in today's classrooms. I believe that most students do not get that chance to share and discuss ideas, as well as learn from other students, as well as the teachers. We at Propology believe that students need to be given that opportunity to learn from each other if they are to truly grow their knowledge and expand their minds. Furthermore, our whole philosophy is about preparing students for going out into the real world. And in the real world, skills like communication, creativity, and collaboration are becoming more and more valued. So if we can't stop this problem now, then once again, we will end up in a world where more and more students are unprepared and lacking the skills that they need to succeed. These two problems need to be solved as soon as possible, or they will have major damaging effects on future generations. But we cannot let that happen. We will not let that happen. We will put an end to these problems and we will be the solution. And that solution is Propology. So, Propology is an educational based app and social media platform with the aim of solving these two problems. We have a program consisting of 4 modules designed to teach students the materials and skills that they need for the real world, thus solving our first problem. We also have a social media platform inside of our app, known as Prep-It, with the goal of providing that platform for students to share and discuss their ideas, learning from each other as well as from our program, thus solving the second problem. So first, let's look at our program. So the content that we teach consists of 4 modules based off many different surveys and interviews that we did. These are economics and finance, designed to tackle the lack of financial literacy in many of today's youth. Politics and democracy, designed to solve today's society that is becoming increasingly uninformed and unaware of what is going on, and unable to tell the difference between what is facts and what is lies. Then we have mindset, which is designed to teach students about the mental side of succeeding in the world, as well as tackling the mental health problems that many of our students face. And finally, self-development, which is designed to give students an opportunity to work on themselves and their faults. Because as entrepreneurs, we are always focused on how we can fix society's problems, that sometimes we forget to fix our own. And I think that it is really important because if we want to improve society, then we as a part of that society must improve ourselves too. So now, let's talk about our value of community and how we plan on solving the lack of dialogue and opportunity for students to learn from each other. So first, we have Prep-It. In short, as Prep-It is still in its early stages, Prep-It is a completely free, open social media platform for students of all different backgrounds, interests, and knowledge to ask questions, share ideas, start conversations about any topic of their choosing. Ultimately, the goal is to provide that crucial opportunity missing from mainstream education to learn from each other, as well as learning from us and the content that we teach. But that's not all. We also have a friend system as well to allow students to form friendships on the platform. Not only does this tap into a whole new branch of community in the one-to-one interaction and discussion, but it also provides an incentive for users to come back to the app, knowing that they have a great community waiting for them there. And finally, we also plan on holding live events and live lessons to bring our great community together to a place where we can all learn and share our ideas live. So, to conclude, I just want to say that this is only the beginning, and what we have so far is nothing compared to the goals and aspirations that we have as Propology. As you know, we want to solve mainstream education. But our biggest goal is not to get rid of mainstream education. We don't want to even compete with mainstream education. We want to become mainstream education so that all students have the opportunity to gain the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in the world. And that will always be our biggest aspiration. So thank you all for listening, and that's all from me.
Well done. Very, very amazing. Confidence is great. Okay, we are gonna let you guys vote now. Right, 30 more seconds. These were some fast votes. Very good. Okay, I am closing the poll. And that does conclude our first round of pitches. I hope you guys have been taken into their worlds and seen everything that they built. Now we're going to take you even further into what they have built with a breakout room. It is completely random. Everybody will be taken into a room with one of the the 6 students that have already pitched. And you can ask them anything you would like, but a lot of them have a little something planned for you to show you and involve you. But do enjoy yourselves, everybody.
Yep, I have the rooms ready. I am just going to launch them in a second.
Okay.
Okay. I hope everyone received an invite to their room. Okay, off you go. Bye, everyone.
Is everybody assigned to a room? Is everybody okay?
Everybody looks all right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go into a room in a second. I was just gonna deal with the scores a little bit. Yeah. see here. I think everything is sorted. It's just I want to make sure. Take a look at it, Sham, if you can. Cool. All right, you can throw me in a room. I don't care who's. Hey. Do you want to send me in a room, Sham?
Yeah. Which one you want to go to?
I'll just, yeah, anyways, just surprise me. I'll go there for a couple minutes and then bring us back. Yeah. You're thinking a lot for this.
Where do I put you? Wait. There.
Ooh.
Why did it do that? It said it had 55 seconds left and then it just kicked us out.
Yeah, just kicked us all out.
We're sorry. Zoom has been doing that. I'm not really sure if it just let these little like mishaps happen. I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to finish if you wanted to, because but you really can all exchange each other's like numbers and things like that and sign up for each other's products if you want. If you want a breakout room with someone that intrigued you, let us know and we can make anything happen. If you didn't go to the breakout room with the founder and CEO that you wanted to, let us know as well, and we can get you in contact with any of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very quick 10 minutes. That 10 minutes went by very, very quick.
It does, it really does. But I hope you had the chance to engage with your audience and show them more about your product, and it went really great. We will now officially, I guess, move on to the next part. Or okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So we will be moving into round 2 of pitching, and I will start by introducing our next speaker. Okay. So Shiying is someone who has such an eye for creativity and just this natural talent for making everybody in the room feel so comfortable, so welcome, and always giving them such amazing positive feedback on everything. And I think the most powerful thing about her is she's not afraid of executing anything. Like if she comes up with an idea, you know that the next day it's done. There's been so many times on our calls where, you know, I wanted to maybe tell her to do a certain thing or remind her to do something. So I would say, Shing, do this, but she'd be like, oh, I already did that last week. Here's how it went. And that's happened so many times because she's always a step ahead. And I think that level of preparation only comes from the strong passion she has to solve this problem. And I'm very, very proud to introduce you to the CEO of Athena, Shing.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you for that as well. Yeah, okay. Before anything, I want to tell you a story about a young girl I know very well. For the sake of confidentiality, I'll call her Luna. Luna was always curious, so much so that her mum called her the girl of a million questions. Why is the sky blue? Why do stars disappear in the morning? Why are trees called trees? Etc., etc. Of course, her family couldn't answer most of them, but that didn't stop her curiosity. Fast forward 3 to 4 years, when she was about 10, she was introduced to a website called Scratch for the first time. Scratch is a block-based visual programming language and website which allows you to build anything you want. Games, programs, stories, you name it. She was fascinated. She loved the idea of being able to create anything she wanted all by herself. As she continued to get older, she developed a further love for this as she began to study computer science. She loved learning how the ins and outs of a computer worked. She loved learning to code, and it fed her curiosity perfectly. However, she told me that she constantly felt inferior to the seemingly more intelligent boys in the class. Most of her peers were male, all her teachers were male, and all the favorite students were, you guessed it, male. She felt out of place, like she didn't belong there. Due to this, she almost gave up. She almost gave up on her passion, her dreams, because, well, she felt inadequate. This is the truth for so many young girls around the world. How do I know this? Remember when I said I call her Luna to protect her identity? Luna is me. I was that little girl. Hi, my name is Xing, the founder and CEO of Athena. My mission is to empower women in STEM and help any young girl, just like myself, who's feeling like that. The problem isn't just confined to 13-year-old me. Around 30% of the world's researchers are female. Computer science have a massive disparity of genders, with men outnumbering women 80 to 20 in the UK. And in 2018, only 22% of the STEM workforce were female. I could go on. You could think that this doesn't affect you. Maybe you're a man, maybe you're not interested in STEM. But think of your friend, your sister, your mother. If they were interested in STEM, would you want them to experience the same feeling of inadequacy and face this inequality? Development in STEM affects all of us. Every single one of you is using technology to watch me speak, sitting on chairs or floors that were designed by engineers. And the medicine you take when you're sick were designed by biologists. Equality of genders in STEM can lead to economic growth and an increase in speed for discoveries that could save thousands of lives. And this needs to be solved now. Why? With the pandemic, things are being moved online. We require doctors and nurses, we need calculations, and most of all, we need creative solutions to problems more than ever. Do you think this encouraging half of our population is wise? Yes, we may not be able to change the deep-rooted patriarchal history, but we can help the women of today. So, I present Athena. Athena will provide a website where you can find community, role models, and mentorship to boost a woman's confidence and the probability of her staying with their passion. As part of my podcast, Women Talk STEM, shameless plug, I have interviewed many women in STEM. Most of them have mentioned the value of either mentors, role models, or community, or all of the above. And I believe that having all three in one place can be a massive help to all women in STEM, no matter age or location. Who knows? I may be a random teenager, I may be starting pretty small, but I hope we can empower and educate women in STEM together. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Woo. Congratulations, that was great. And voting is up for you.
Am I allowed to vote myself?
Are you allowed to unmute or mute? Yeah, you can do those things.
No, I like to vote for myself.
Oh yeah. Oh, voting, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
It's there for you. Add to the votes. Great. 40 out of 50 have voted. 50 out of 53. We'll give you guys 30 more seconds. Okay, time is up for voting. Really great job, Shaing. And we'll move into the next person.
Amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the next person. So this is somebody who has a very strong and powerful expression of her voice, her passion, and her opinions. She's never afraid to speak up what's on her mind, and she is so powerful in the way she talks, it's enough to move anybody. And what's amazing about Esther is she's so okay with being honest and vulnerable and just never afraid to be in a very uncomfortable situation, because that allows her to learn and it allows her to grow. And it's been a pleasure watching you work on every idea of yours with so much enthusiasm and just, wanting to be there with everything, wanting to learn everything. So I'm really, really excited to introduce you to the founder of Let's Talk About It, Esther.
Thank you for that. It's been great working with you too, with everybody actually. All right. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Elijah McClain. The list, it goes on. I'm sure you guys have heard their story, but have you heard it from them? Come on, think about it. All these names never got to tell their story. They never got the opportunity to. Their lives were taken, and lives continue to get taken every single day, and nobody hears their voices. They get silenced if they survive, and we all know that's a huge if. Let's Talk About It is the name of my project, and it's exactly what it says. Many people, including me, have faced racial discrimination and have nowhere to voice their story. That's where I come in. Let me give you some insight. Having somewhere to splurge out your feelings without any type of judgment, being able to listen and learn from other stories that have been published, and having a family built from the pureness of the heart is craved by many. The silencing of Black voices can lead to an unwarranted mental health risk or even death. And that's not something we need considering the past year that we just had. My project is there to solve that. And putting everything together, it has taught me a lot. Some might say, well, there's more important things that may cause this. Are there really? The feeling of loneliness can cover many things, but that does not mean this isn't one of them. And if there's anything I can do about it, I will. And surely I am. My mission is to help decrease the amount of suicide rates that have dealt with the silence from the stories that come from racial discrimination. A lot of people just think, oh, just get over it, you'll be fine. But sadly, that isn't the case. For example, the term, I don't see race or skin color, is what many say. Well then, what do you see, if I may ask, of course? The color of my skin is what defines me in this world. So why not see it? Getting killed because of my skin color, being called suspicious because I look like the suspect, and having to live in the world where my skin color is viewed as a threat angers me. So yes, I want you to see my skin color. I want you to embrace my race, and I want you to see what I go through because I am not white. I have a dream. I have a dream that 4 of my little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, said the famous Martin Luther King. August 28th, 1963. Even after 58 years, we still continue to live in a society where we are judged on the color of our skin before we are judged on who we actually are. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. There used to be a belief and hope that people did not have to look at your race to decide if you were eligible or ineligible to get a job, or you have to believe that they weren't what you're looking for. But that has been debunked. We wanted to solely believe that they didn't get that job because they weren't up to par, but again, it was debunked, and the faith in the system slowly began to fade away. Now we're in the year 2021. It's all roses and chocolate. No, we still can't trust the system simply because we're Black. Because the skin on my race does not match yours, because we are still racially divided and there's no place to just spill it out. All those feelings so we can acknowledge it as one community. Let's Talk About It is my way and solution to that. I can't stop racial discrimination. It would be a dream though. But I can sure help people get rid of all those emotions and riled up anger built inside because the country that they believe is supposed to protect them continues to turn them inside out. I can do that, and I will. This platform will help people share their emotions and feelings about all of the above. And being one of them, I know I would make this a great experience. In general instances, not expressing yourself about things that you go through can cause an outstanding amount of stress. Trust me, take it from someone who has been there 24/7. But we need to take control. We need to take control of everything that we go through, and I'm here to lead you guys into that. Let's Talk About It will be that safe space for people to come together. Let's Talk About It will be that safe space for people to listen and learn about your experiences. Joining me in my journey will increase the number of people who will not only see, but interact with it and share. Just imagine how many future lives that can be saved. So join me and let's talk about it. That's all.
Damn, that was amazing, Esther.
Thank you.
Trying to launch the poll. There we are. And a lot of people, like, the things you all are saying in the chat is remarkably accurate. And that was a fast vote. Very good. We have 10 people left to vote. We'll give you 30 seconds. We'll give you 10 more seconds. All right.
Can I clarify something that was like in the comments real quick?
Yeah, sure.
It is not only for Black people, like it's for everybody, but I want everybody to be able to come and listen to everybody's stories. It's not just for Black people. Anybody can sign up. Thank you.
Awesome. And letting everybody know that you can and should sign up for Let's Talk About It, for any of these other entrepreneurial projects that you've seen. You can generally sign up on their website and the founder will get in touch with you. Okay, we're gonna close the poll. I am taking the scores really quickly. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Esther. That was awesome. We're going to move on to the next speaker. Okay. So what I admire the most about this person is her ability to express something really complex and difficult in the most creative and simple way possible. She is a powerhouse of innovation. Like, she's so articulate that I know that anything that I can say, she can say it better. And there's always such an amazing and smooth execution of every single plan in her head. And, with a very wise and composed and just excellence in every single thing that she does. I am very, very, very proud to introduce you to the founder of the Reformatory, Ibukun.
Thank you, Shamshir. In the next 5 minutes, I could ruin my life forever. I could put myself, possibly by accident, maybe on purpose, without knowing the true consequences, in a position that means I will never be anything more than a statistic, a number people ignore and dismiss as unimportant. And you probably wouldn't care. You wouldn't think about the fact I volunteered in the summer, or that I'm doing great in school, or that I should have an amazing future ahead of me. I don't know how many of you have younger siblings, cousins, maybe children of your own. Maybe you simply remember this from your own childhood. But have you ever seen a child realize they've made a mistake? All of a sudden, the world stops turning and a giant meltdown ensues. At some point, we're all expected to grow up and understand that a mistake isn't the end of the world. And although at times I'm a self-proclaimed perfectionist, I've come to learn that failure is a part of success and the journey that is life. We all talk about how hard it is to get up and try again. Yet, do we really support those who have been knocked down? Think about it. You did terribly in the exam, or again and again you've missed that promotion. The entire system and everyone who dictates success is telling you that everywhere you go, across your forehead in massive bright red letters is failure. Welcome to the life of almost every person who's been in prison. Early last year, I was applying for a job online and they asked me if I had any prior convictions. One small slip meant I accidentally clicked yes. Swiftly, sharply, and with no remorse, they stamped me red and threw me out. I don't have any prior convictions. And yet within seconds, I was that little girl all over again and the world had stopped turning. I was a 14-year-old child who got involved with the wrong crowd to help my family make ends meet and committed crimes to survive. I was the neighbor who didn't think and picked up groceries without paying. All of a sudden, I felt a rush of stress and desperation clawing at my throat as I tried to go back and fix my mistake. I couldn't. You can't go back and fix the past. Currently, there are over 2.3 million people incarcerated in America, almost 500,000 in India. South Africa has over 200,000, over 40,000 people in Canada, and the UK is about reaching 90,000. This is a global problem that, if unsolved, stands to hinder many improvements. Whilst there are externalities, there are so many issues in the world that we believe begin at home with you and with me. Recycling for climate change, changing our attitudes to be more accepting, and learning how we will learn and want to learn. And yet we've all come to this conclusion, and I believe rightly so, that the common denominator remains us. The basis of all these problems is society, which is why these problems are so complex and this issue is so important. The way we treat ex-offenders is distorting not only the shape and progress, but the intrinsic purpose and meaning of community. This isn't about deserving, it's about support and compassion in spite of what is deserved. This is about creating a society that cultivates forgiveness and progress and not constantly letting the past dictate our future. Thus, the Reformatory was born. We're a platform that offers ex-offenders three main things: courses, community, and connections. Courses. Ex-offenders can join the Reformatory and access courses ranging topics and subjects to help them gain helpful insights into life and skills to find better prospects and reach their full potential, with courses ranging from money management to an introduction to cooking. Our community provides a network that truly understands and helps various ex-offenders and includes various ex-offenders who have turned around their lives and can provide advice, real-life stories, and tips to a better future. Ultimately, the aim is to be the support for people to decide who they want to be, then create both short and long-term goals to get there. In doing so, they use our services and connections to industries, companies, and schools to facilitate their journey to a brighter future. Alongside this platform, our organization offers glances into the lives of various ex-offenders, their stories, and how they became the new entrepreneurs, guidance counselors, and activists of our world, as well as give interviews that challenge opinions and views with juxtaposing conversations with ex-convicts and police officers. By doing so, we want to create an area for those who want to change, who can't turn back the time and fix their mistakes, but who want to be able to look to the future with hope. For us to cultivate a mindset that challenges norms and stigmas around surrounding ex-offenders, we need to start now. Did you know that 2/3 of people who leave prison in the UK are immediately homeless, and they will reoffend within a year to survive? Ex-offenders make up 41% of homeless people. Therefore, the reformatory is not only helping to solve recidivism, but homelessness and racial inequity in the justice system. If in the next 5 minutes I can make a mistake, knowingly or unknowingly, that is going to change my life forever, then it is essential that the reformatory provides us all with a chance to learn that our actions shouldn't have to constitute to a childish meltdown that can send me into a never-ending cycle of crimes to survive to live a fruitful life. It is essential that the reformatory helps society to just grow up.
Incredible. Really, really incredible. The poll is in front of you. I will not speak anymore and let you guys vote naturally. Yeah.
Voted.
Cool. Thanks, Ahmed, for saying that. We have 7 people left to vote. You guys have about 15 seconds on that. Wow. Okay, I will close the votes at this point.
Great. Thank you, Bikun. Really, really good. Brilliant. We will now move on to the next speaker. So I'm going to introduce you to the founder of Humble, Yashika. And Yashika is what she does. Her biggest strength is being humble. Like the amount of quiet confidence that she has, she will never flaunt what she does. She will never show off, but she just knows that what she's doing is amazing and is right. And that is what's going to take her so far. And just this amount of sensitivity that she has and her ability to just naturally connect with anybody is a gift. And she thinks out of the box to make these things possible. The problem she's solving is a very human problem. And you have to be creative to make it possible to solve these things. And she is. She really, really understands other people. And that is her biggest strength. And I am really happy to introduce you to Yashika.
Thank you, Shamshir, for that brilliant introduction. Can you people see my screen now?
Yes.
Are you regularly confused or frustrated when watching or reading the news? It feels like today many of us are experiencing completely different realities altogether. I know that I've been there. I have endless
Okay, so hey everyone, and I'd like to show you a short clip now. So here it is. So, what do you feel about the situation? She's not being accepted, and people are quite insensitive. They wish to point out her insecurities. So, is this a peak? That we can't live in a world full of amazing people who come in all forms with wonderful theories, and all we can do is call them out for being different rather than accepting them just like they are? A study published in the Journal of Peace Education claimed the world would just fall apart if there's no respect at all. Why? In the absence of respect, starting from homes where the problem of generation gap will amplify, the workplace becomes an intimidating and stressful place. It will cause poor performance and disengagement. Moreover, this will lead to conflict in all our relationships, as relationship forms the glue in as respect forms the glue in relationships. Now made a huge problem tree, as you may see here, to solve this issue. And guess what I found? The main contributor to this problem is pop culture. They say cinema is a reflection of the society. What isn't told is cinema also shapes the society. And here we see people coming up with all these things like diss tracks, genres of music that promote misogyny and show homosexual people as comical characters. Let's delve a little bit deeper into the problem and let me bombard you with some stats. According to a survey conducted in 97 school students, 67% of them felt substitutes are not respected enough. A study cited in the MEFLIS Business Journal found that 80% of the employees surveyed believe lack of respect is a serious problem in the workplace. A study conducted in America found 79% say lack of respect and courtesy is a serious national problem. Now, after public consensus, I found the problem is recognized by many and that it needs urgent attention. Hence, I would determine to tell people disagreement is one thing, disrespect is quite another. To reach out to more people, I built Humble, a platform that promotes respect, sensitivity, and acceptance in society. How do we do this? We realized early on that the pop culture influence was massive. And hence, we started taking clips from popular web series and movies that where people were not being respected and put them on a website. And we kept it open for people to comment and then ask them a simple question. What do you feel went wrong and how could it have been better? This helped us, that is the Humble Army, to realize the things that go wrong around us and how we can change our ways. How we went ahead was by making groups and discussion forums for people to discuss instances of disrespect or arguments by understanding all aspects of the story. We introduced blogs and case studies along with industry experts about the experience of people who undergo such situations on a daily basis and what is the long-term effect of all this. Now, let's do an affirmation together. Everyone has different thoughts and boundaries.
Everyone has different thoughts and boundaries
that need no modification by anyone.
That need no modification by
anyone.
Thank you. So building on this, we introduced a feature in Humble that allows people with radical views on a topic to come together in an anonymous chat and share the reasons for their beliefs. We found this helps in increasing acceptance among people for those who don't share their value systems. Now you may ask, why should I join Humble? I already know how to respect others, and hence, do you even need this? Now let me tell you another quick fact. A recent study by the PEW Research Center found that a whopping 90% of the people voted for communication skills as the most important skill you should have in the virtual world. So we at Humble will help you just building those skills. So if you're committed to your growth, I highly recommend you to join Humble and build a more inclusive world. I'm Yashika, the founder of Humble, and I would like to thank you. You've been a great audience.
Excellent. Excellent work, Yashika.
Thank you so much.
I'm George, the founder of Informed. Are you regularly confused or frustrated when watching or reading the news?
We'll introduce you after the poll, after we finish Yashika's voting, okay?
Sweet.
Okay. And we still have 10 more people to vote. Okay. Giving you guys about 20 more seconds. There's 8 people left to vote. All right, and that's a wrap. I'm going to end it. And I think we all know who the final speaker is. But as his mentor, I still always like to say a couple words about, honestly, no one has wowed me as much as George did in the interview. Like, it was a crazy experience that I just really enjoyed and knew that we had to have the student in the academy. And like what I love the most about George is this never ending battle to find what the actual truth is. And kind of he's not satisfied with like a general description or a vague description or something that is like out of place in what his what he thinks the actual truth and right way is. So he's someone that stands his ground and really carved this company Informed the way he wanted to. So I'm very excited for everybody to learn about Informed right now. Welcome to the stage officially, George.
Thank you. Are you regularly confused or frustrated when watching or reading the news? It feels like today many of us are experiencing completely different realities altogether. I know that I've been there. I've had incredible disbelief in the amount of misinformation, half-truths, and straight-out lies that are fed to the American people and citizens of our democracy. And it isn't only happening in the US. All over the world, people are split between trusting their government, the internet, or their media. In fact, this problem is so widespread that according to a new study from Pew Research Center, 2/3 of US adults have seen their news sources present facts meant to favor one side. Another study from that same organization suggested that many Americans get their news from social media, such as YouTube. This leads to a plethora of misleading and untrue information, and in a similar study by Pew Research Center, people who get their news from social media are on average less engaged in politics, less politically knowledgeable, and more likely to believe in misleading news. This divides the people into camps of what they believe based on what they see. However, they aren't being exposed to other viewpoints, so they stay in their relative mindsets without challenge and go further into the misinformation rabbit hole. I know the effects of misinformation firsthand. My best friend won't speak to me anymore, all because he bought into a lie about coronavirus that could have been easily debunked if he had let me sit down and talk to him. I believe that this is not an insurmountable problem that has gone too far for anyone to prevent the breakdown of what little unity we may have left. Families have been torn apart by political divide. Policy is being blindly passed and changing the course of history in many people's lives in radical ways. In fact, unless something is done quickly, we may very well enter an age of unparalleled civil unrest, if not civil war. We have already seen how misinformation regarding a controversial topic in America, the presidential election, can inspire violence and savagery, as seen in the Capitol riots of January 6th. The further we grow apart, the closer we come to a dystopian reality. People won't feel safe when they're speaking to the others, depending on what they believe, and others won't be comfortable letting their kids outside without and living normal lives. Although huge webs of lies may be debunked over and over, it will still continue to grow until a breaking point is reached and violence ensues. This is because people do not trust and engage with their sources of peers. We would live in a world where nothing could be trusted. Truth would be just as credible as lies, and people would have no way of knowing what is really happening because there would be so many different narratives to choose from. It would be hard to agree on anything at all, not to mention to unite and solve problems such as climate change, racial inequity, and other huge world issues. Our democracy would crumble since the people cannot regulate the government if the media, internet, and social media all keep the people locked in perpetual oblivious bliss. However, it doesn't need to be this way. My platform equips people with the tools that they need to keep their heads above the water. In order to make sure that misinformation and untrustworthy articles aren't passed on into our platform as the truth, we employ hundreds of fact checkers and find inside stories from verified sources while reviewing misleading or controversial articles on one of our platform sections called Fact Checker. In another section, my platform addresses the divide and political isolation keeping people apart by introducing them to different opinions and perspectives using negative feedback technology. Negative feedback technology is the reverse of positive feedback loop algorithms and uses a computer to analyze data that is different from news you watch regularly. This will be displayed on the recommended for you page, where verified articles and stories that oppose or challenge your views are presented to you. The platform also allows users to speak with others and have real conversations about real-world topics. Now you might be wondering, how will I get people to engage themselves in meaningful discussion online? Well, my computers can detect slurs, curses, and menacing words, and can give a warning to both parties that things are getting out of hand, effectively punishing them. This app would revolutionize the way we see news. It is plain, simple, transparent, and interactive. No longer will people on social media go further down the rabbit hole of radicalization to the positive feedback loops. No longer will there be needed advanced searches and multiple reference Google pages in order to find an understanding of what's truly happening. Instead, news will be the way it should be. Facts that people can agree on, civilized debate, and knowledgeable citizens. We would live in a world where people are able to hold regulated conversations offline as well as on the app, and political involvement is a joy, not a hassle. For a strong and knowledgeable world, we need to have open-minded and knowledgeable citizens, because with informed, you really do know your news.
Awesome. Amazing, amazing job, George. We are gonna have everyone vote right now. Thank you. Votes coming in fast, very good. I love all the questions coming through as well in the chats. We will keep these and George can address them in the breakout rooms that are happening right now. Waiting for 8 more votes. Voting is about to close. Let me capture the scores. Alrighty. That was awesome from our 5 finalists. And now we will send you again into a random breakout room with somebody else. As I will just say though, for all 11 students who are graduating, you guys shall take your opportunity to put your websites into the chat at the end so that people, if they loved your business idea, they can get on there and they can sign up and be a part of your next, like either live session or anything else that you're going to be running. All right, Sham will put us in some rooms. I actually have some questions that I can put into the chat that you might want to ask the person in your breakout room if the time allows.
So everybody has 10 minutes and I hope you can see an invite to this room.
Great. Have fun in your rooms, guys.
It was sending me to Yashika's room instead of creating one for myself.
No problem. Is that better? Great.
I don't have an invite.
There. I have assigned you to a room. I hope you got it. Okay, bye everyone.
I'm so sorry. I was assigned to Esther's breakout room, but then my laptop just died. And so I've like opened it on my phone, but
Hey, okay, this is Ogo speaking.
yeah.
Okay, I actually don't have the breakout rooms power, but let me get Sham to come back in here. Just a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're coming. Don't worry. Whew. Hello? Hey, Sham. Oh. Great, you put her back into the room she belongs. Okay. Okay, that's super weird. Let me get on that. Okay. How much longer in the rooms? I think like we're already 30 minutes over. This is a long one. I think I wasn't timing their pitches, so yeah. Oh well. They got it. All right, let's give them 2 more minutes in the rooms, or I hope you have kept the time.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
We're all back. Cool. Or yeah, everybody's back, I guess. Great. Welcome back. You have all done awesome, obviously, and we have a couple of announcements to make right now, one being the winner. But before we do, we'd like to show everybody in this community like who these 11 are a little bit closer. And yesterday at their final rehearsal, and we call it demo day, but they all voted in something called a mock election about, who has which traits and who's this, who's that, etc. So these votes, these awards came straight from the way that they voted about each other, which we love. And so we will announce who won which category as we show their certificates.
Okay, I'm going to share the certificates. If Kelsey, you could announce the awards.
Yeah. All right. And I see people asking for contacts in the chat, like you guys can put your websites up there, or we'll find other ways. All right. So the first a graduate we have is Jaylene, and she has won the award for the compassionate listener. The ability to hear somebody else out. Yeah. Thanks for the applause, Bukin. Right. Very deserved, very, very great listener and compassion, like streaming out of her at all times. Awesome. Our next graduate is the winner of Brave at Sharing, and could not be more true. Her entire business is built around being brave at sharing it and telling people how you have experienced this or that. And so VNet, congratulations. You are the winner of Brave at Sharing. Our third graduate is someone who we know has many, many different things going on in her life. So she is the winner of the most likely to have 18 side hustles. So she's always involved in a project. I think I received an email from her about a different project like recently. So there's just a lot of different projects that she wants to work on. Great. Our next graduate is someone with a mad confidence, but doesn't always need to tell us every detail, and I respect that. So Gia, you are the winner of the Quiet Executor in your cohort. Getting mad crazy things done, like your list of features and ideas was just insane, and like you are quietly making it all happen. Congratulations. All right, next is someone who received, this is Blessed, as you can see. Blessed has received the award for heartfelt feedback. And I just feel really touched every time Blessed and I have an interaction, like the way she gives any sort of reaction is just, wow, it feels very true. Awesome. All right, then we have James has won 2 awards, one being the Pivot Master, which is one of the most important traits to have in this business, your ability to kind of switch it up based on how customers are interacting with your product, as well as he has won the award for Challenge Seeker. Couldn't be more real. Very, James is always up for it, and his confident tone is out of this world right now. So I love it. All right, Shaiying has won the award for Doesn't Miss a Beat. This is a hugely important award as well in terms of always been part of every activity, a part of every contest, a part of every team moment. Her other award that she's won is called, we like to call On It. Anytime we're like, all right, here's something that has to happen with your company, there's just something that has to happen. She's on it, and we don't need to hesitate. We know that she's on it. Awesome. Esther, after this amazing speech today, has won the award of Lost in Passion, and a lot of quality work has come out just by like tapping into her own passion. So amazing there, Lost in Passion. Ibukin has won the award of the Wise One, which I know to be true. It's I can't really describe how, like, you can just tell there's wisdom there, and there's holding it together in a way that most of us are not capable of. Congratulations, Ibukin, for the Wise One. This next person is someone who's making me smile like so big a lot. That's why she's won the award of Conversation Queen. The ability to always want to like talk and have a good conversation and hear somebody out. And that's a huge part of learning. It's a huge part of this community. Yashika, amazing. You are the Conversation Queen. And our last graduate is George. And George has won 2 awards that I think are very, very, very suiting. Number 1 is the questioner, somebody who questions whatever the norm is and wants to find out more. And he's also won, and both of these go very well with his business, the award for the Great Debater. Congratulations, George. All right. With that being said, that was awesome. We are ready to make the big announcements of who is the winner. The 3 winners, as everyone knows, make it to the annuals. The annuals will be held this spring. And I know that there's a lot of other winners out there in the crowd who have been kind of like watching and figuring out. You will all become very close, the winners from each cohort. So it's a really proud moment. I'm going to let Shamshir announce who has won the Expo October cohort.
Yes. Okay. So this has been an intense Expo. It has been extremely difficult, not just for us, but even for the audience to choose who won, because every person is out. Because of that, we actually have a tie for the runner-up. The votes are on the dot same, and the one of the runner-ups is the founder of Athena Shine. Congratulations, you have put so much passion and so much finesse in your execution, and you really deserve it. Very well done.
Tang, you're allowed to speak right now if you want. Say a few words. Your reaction was really special, to be honest. So I'd like to hear the most raw things that you want to say.
Yeah, I'm mildly speechless, so I'll try to speak as like coherently as possible. Thank you so much. Everyone was so amazing. I didn't think I would get any prizes, but yeah, thank you so much. And I don't know what to say. Yeah, if you think you can like you can do this as well. I didn't think I could do like anything like this at all. Like it like it's through School of Future that I was able. Oh yeah. Before I forget, I said if I win anything, I'm gonna dedicate it to Shamshir, my mentor. She helped me through so many like difficult like times I just like didn't know what to do. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop speaking. Thank you.
Sweet. You know, everyone knows how much work you put in. Amazing work.
Okay.
And just personally bleeding through. Yeah. All right.
Well done. And as I mentioned, the runner-up position is actually tied. So there is another winner who has scored on the dot same and very well deserved. This is the founder of the Reformatory, Ibukun. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, graduating is sort of like a bittersweet moment because like I've sort of gotten to know all of us so well. But you know, I'm really grateful for everyone, for like the SOF team, because if it wasn't for the School of Future, I would have met so many people or become like so self-aware, create something that I believe is going to have such like a large impact. You know, so thank you to all of you, and thank you to like my stakeholders for always being their feedback, to my family, you know, for the rest of my cohort for like really like motivating, and for all of you guys for like listening and engaging. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, congrats, the founder of the Reformatory. You have done brilliantly, and your website is my favorite. I love it. Okay, finally, it's time to announce the winner. And this could not be more well deserved. Like this person has not missed a single detail in their product just because they are so passionate about making everything just right, and they're so passionate about making sure their customers are getting the experience that they want. And it just shows in every conversation they have, not just with me, but with every single person they talk to about it. It just shows. And very proud to say the first winner of October cohort's Entrepreneurs Expo. The first prize goes to James, the founder of Cryptology. Congratulations, James. This is your time to make your speech.
Yes, I do have a victory speech prepared. You might hear some clapping in the background. Okay, yes, in fact I did write a little victory speech. A little lesson to everyone: if you want to go in with a winning mentality, then act like you've already won. So I did in fact write a victory speech. So yeah, here we go. So first of all, I just want to, I said this briefly in the group chat. I just want to congratulate everyone on all of their projects. Every single one of us here has managed to develop a whole entire business and brand, from just a mere concept to something that's theirs, that they want to tackle a real world problem that they care about. And I think that the fact that every single one of us here has managed to do that is something that we should all be very proud of. So at first, I just want to congratulate everyone. And we are all winners in our own way. I said this at the start of the day. And then second, I also want to thank everyone, because you might not realize it, but every single time you made a new feature or update to your brand, or like Sheeing, for example, with your podcast, like that actually motivated me to do the same with mine and to work harder on mine. So I just want to thank everyone there. I also want to thank my mentor, Shamshia. We must have had about like 20 hours worth of mentor calls, just talking about like pretty much every single detail, every single step, every single direction. And if she hadn't been there, then I wouldn't be here right now. So I just want to thank you for everything that you've like taught me and how everything that you've done to help me. I also want to thank Kelsey as well. You haven't been my mentor, but you've definitely helped me a lot, especially with some of the feedback you've given me. You also helped me a lot with getting people for me to talk to and interview. So I definitely want to thank you for that. I also want to thank my mum and my stepdad who are right. You can come in if you want. You can come in. Do you not want to? Oh, yeah, she's crying. Who yeah, so my stepdad especially, he's helped me a lot with the programming side of it. So I want to thank him there and just give credit where credit's due, because I wouldn't have got to this position if it wasn't for them. I also want to thank my shareholders, and our group chat's going crazy right now. I want to thank you. I'll give a shout out to my shareholders, Aran, Cadence, Leonie. You can say something if you want. I know like you're quite shy, but I just want to thank you for all the feedback you've given me and for all the help you've given me. um again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So yeah, I think I need to wrap this up now, but just to finish off, I want to thank the entirety of School of Future. The whole reason School of Future exists is to give an opportunity for students, like for people, not students, just people like me and everyone else here, to work on something that we care about, and produce something that we can be proud of. So this has helped me a lot. I've become a lot more confident. um, I've become a lot more definite on what I want to do in the future, and this has definitely set me on a path that I might just I probably will just continue for the rest of my life. So it's also taught me a lot of valuable lessons as well, about how to approach certain problems and how to make something and grow something that's your own. So I want to thank the entirety of School of Future. And then lastly, last but not least, I remember being here 3 months ago in the first expo that I watched. And I know that there's many people watching right now who are in that exact same position. So I just want to say to all the newest sofas who are about to go on their journeys and develop their businesses, I think the most important thing is to keep your dreams and your aspirations big. Don't forget the biggest goals that you have in mind. Make sure you're always focusing on the problem that you're trying to solve, and that you're never losing sight of your biggest aims. And always keep open-minded to making big changes in the identity or the direction of your brand. I won the pivot award because I was always making changes or having new ideas for how to change, adapt, or develop my brand. So that's definitely something you should keep in mind. And yeah, just the best of luck to everyone. So yeah, thank you. That's all I've got to say.
That was one of the best speeches I've heard as well. Like, I would love to close on that point, to be honest, because you've just summed up a lot. Like, James, wow. Congratulations. Anyone else can speak right now too. The floor is open for SOFRs, non-SOFRs, graduates, non-graduates to come say anything they'd like.
I like the idea though of how you want to revolutionize education. It's quite of a good idea, and I think I think it kind of relates to my project that I want to do. So I think I will contact you though.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. It's great to hear that other people have got the same ideas as me. So yeah, that's really good to hear, and thank you for all of the feedback I've got.
Drop your contact information. Like the other guy said, I think a lot of people here have the, like, not the same goal, but the same solution, or not the same solution, the same outcome, if you know what I mean. And a lot of people here do. I don't know. I feel like one of the best things about, like, the School of Future thing is that, like, the fact that they have these conferences where you could talk to people who already graduated that have their business, that just creates, like, a community. Some of the greatest business minds talked about how for you to, like, really, really succeed, you need to have, the plugs, you can say, or like the connections. And this is one of the best ways to make connections. So I think we should take advantage of that. And all the people who graduated, I think they should leave their contact information, personal or non-personal, just a way for everybody to reach, so that us, when we graduate, we're able to link with you guys, and the batch after us can do the same. There is gonna be, like, after a while, it's gonna multiply. So there's obviously gonna be people with good ideas as well, and that we can chip into and invest into as well.
I just want to say congratulations, James. He was in my group, the Workaholics, so technically it was a one for me too. But congratulations, and like I really see like a future for your program, a lot of what it aims for. So yeah, congratulations, and to Shireen and Ibukun. I hope all those ex-convicts get their rights deserved. So yeah.
Everyone's business continues, like, and you never know, like things go crazy afterwards too. Go ahead, Shaying.
Hey, I just want to say, like, congratulations, James. Always, and yeah, James was also a very, like, big inspiration for me as well. I just wanted to, like, return and say that, because, like, true, like, he was really hardworking, and like I loved how he took so long to like solidify his idea. Like, that's probably not the best way to word it, but like, you know what I mean. Like like how he formed his idea was like really, like, yeah, it was great.
I think it's James's stepdad saying, "Log out and hug your mother." You have made us so proud. It's so sweet. Everybody should.
Yeah, like congratulations to everyone who made the podium. Like, your ideas were genuinely amazing. But I want to, like, tell everyone who didn't make it, don't give up. Don't give up on your idea just because you didn't win this one time. Because losing makes you stronger. Because challenges make you more agile, more adapted. Makes you stronger, basically. So, like, don't give up hope just because of this. Because all that shows is that these people worked really hard in their distinguished group and did well, and that shows that you can too. So don't give up.
Thanks so much, George. It really is a matter of what happens after this too. Like, life is always moving forward, and there's always more opportunities to succeed, like you already have, and now there's a lot more that can happen with all these students who are very interested in what you've built and want to help be a part of it. So make that stuff happen.
Let's not, yeah, just want to quickly say, all 11 of you are officially graduates of Entrepreneurs Academy. Take your business out into the world and keep pushing it, keep growing it, never stop, because this is your business, this is your idea, you are the CEO, and just never stop, exactly as George said. And okay, I feel like this calls our event to a close, but we would love to hang out with the new grads for a bit. If you want to stay back and chat, let's have some cohort time. And if anybody else wants to say any last few words, that's also amazing.
Vinette has raised hand. Yes.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for everyone for motivating and inspiring this. and helping this whole idea come to life. Every single 10 of you have just made this such a memorable and amazing experience. And Kelsey, Shamshir, and Aditi for making all of this positive and possible. Just so amazing. And I hope James, Ubuntu, and Cheyenne, you don't forget us when you are CEOs of your Fortune 500 companies.
I just wanted to say, I think I speak for all the stakeholders when we say that regardless of who won or not, we're all really proud of everything that everyone has done to get where they are today. And it's just so cool to see everybody where they are now.
Yay. Excellent, you guys. We are gonna close. We'll take a photo of this expo. We hadn't really done that yet. So you guys can do something goofy, something exciting. All right, I'll give us a countdown. So if others out there, yeah, this is your time to turn on a camera.
Please turn your cameras on, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for saying it in a more aggressive way. That was more effective. Cool.
Okay, so 2, 1.
You did that too? Great.
Amazing. Brilliant. Okay, we're still gonna hang out here for anybody who wants to chat. But the event is closed.
Can I talk to like George about from Inform?
Of course, if George would like to.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, man, like your idea was quite fascinating though. It kind of relates to the idea with James and yours. To what I want to work with. I wanted to ask, how did you get the idea from, and what was the process that you did to get that idea and into a working way?
So basically at the start of this program, I had to pick an idea and I was like, oh, what's a real big problem that I see? And I was like, I see a lot of really big problems, but this one is really on my nerves right now. So I'm going to stick with this one. So that was my thought process.
So did you encounter any roadblocks ahead, like during the process?
Yeah, mostly laziness, mostly procrastination.
Okay. Though your idea was kind of interesting, though I really liked it, and James as well. It kind of links back to education and to information that which I want to. So
yeah. The thing is, I never really like checked in on James and what he was doing, and he never really checked in on what I was doing when we were in the early phases of our ideas. So then, like when we got to like the developing phases, and I realized what his topic actually was, I was like, "Oh crap! Is he doing the same thing that I'm doing?" And I was like, "No, George, you're not doing the exact same thing. He's trying to make an education platform to advance skills and combat misinformation. You're just doing misinformation." So yeah, you're not doing the same thing. You're just doing something worse. But I stuck with it to make it the best that I could. So that's really the roadblock that I hit.
In my eyes, it's way more specific than that. I think a lot of students, like, in one sentence, it might seem similar, but everyone's solving something very, very specific and taking their own niche area within it. And that's what makes the idea so innovative.
I guess specialization is good in some cases, but you want to have a broad sense of what it all connects to. And knocking things out more than one at a time is always efficient.
Though I really like the ideas you both had, and I would really love to work with you and share some ideas of my own.
I'll keep that in mind. Just
Cool.
link your contacts.
Yep.
So we're gonna leave the somebody had requested, Ogo requested about all the businesses. It's in your email, but we'll send it right now as well. Every student's like link to their website and things like that. There's always a way to contact them through their website. Let me find. It's so great putting the email there. Oh. Shamshir, can you help me find where everyone's website is? Because I don't think this is the complete version right now.
I got you. Give me a okay.
I like how from here just answered like, I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
Great, people putting in. Anyone else want to say anything that's on their mind at all? This is how it is.
I could say something. Okay, firstly, everybody, I'm really proud of all of us for coming this far, because it was, okay, personally for me, it was very, very challenging, but it was so worth it. And secondly, blessed your chair is torturing me. Like, it just looks so awesome. So yeah,
See, now I'm
but
interested
congratulations.
in trying to. Now I'm trying to figure out what this tree looks like, because now this is bothering me.
Jaylene, I'm gonna miss your your comments and your voice and your energy and like everything that you're feeling. So I mean, I guess I won't say I'll miss it because we can be around, but it is sad. Great.
I'd also like to say congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to you, James. You deserve it. And Chaying and everything and everyone else, even if you didn't place, all your ideas were amazing. And like, I love all your websites, like, and everything these have done. And I definitely like keep track.
Blessed, your speech like got me. I love I love that you're utilizing the way our society is moving right now. I think it's super smart.
Thank you.
Everybody should take a look at it. I love that speech.
Thank you.
I want to shout out to all the people fighting systemic problems such as racism, incarceration, education, the shortfalls of climate change, all that. This is a really big problem, and I want to be dead serious with you. We need people in mass to take on these challenges. Like I'm not convinced that one person attacking one spot in these systems is going to combat them, because these systems have a way of getting around fixes. Like different laws have been passed to stop incarceration from getting out of hand, but people have found a way to get around it, and corporations have still massively incarcerated people even worse than before. So just make sure that you're always adapting to the situation, because incarceration and systemic problems are always changing as well. So just adapt, I guess.
Okay, just give me one more second. I want to share everybody's websites real quick, and then we are going to call the expo to a close. And thank you for saying that, George. I feel that as well. That's what School of Future is for. It's because no one's going to change the world if young people don't do it. So it's really great that you highlighted that as well.
Can I ask if you've got my website? Because I know you didn't in the original email that you sent out to everyone.
I think I do.
Okay, that's good.
What a good group. Most thorough expo ever. Most thorough cohort ever.
Yay, there you go. Everyone has that? It's a big list. Okay.
Yeah, save that somewhere for yourself. Right. And there's more, like there's footage of all of most everyone here has run a session as well, so that's on YouTube, and I really encourage like watching those.
Thank you everyone for being an amazing audience, and obviously the graduates, congratulations once again. And until next time, next Expo, see you all again.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, Hire.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.